Hi there. Let us talk about the state of the real estate and property market in Kenya. Most of focus is Nairobi and other urban centers. We're going to be discussing how the real estate sector is at the moment and also how it's going to be in future. Okay, and all this, of course, we're appreciating key metrics out there, like, for example, prices, right? For example, the growth rate in real estate, matters like, for example, even how the real estate impacts the environment and so forth. You are all much welcome to the Money Daily YouTube channel. My name is Afagza Sifunam. And by the way, if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing to this channel because you're going to be getting daily videos with regards to how you can multiply your money and even improve your life. Having said that, how is the current state of real estate in the city? To summarize it all, over the past few years, we've seen real estate in Nairobi grow very, very rapidly. And I'm saying so because just a quick check across the city, you can actually deduce that the city is becoming a concrete jungle. Most of areas in the city, for example, talk about Hurlingham area, Kilimani area, Lavington area, and other areas in the city. We're seeing they are being fast rising up of different apartments out there. We're seeing skyscrapers coming up day in, day out. And even by the guys, that's why a few years ago, we saw a huge shift with regards to most of the corporate heads in the country moving from the central business district to Upper Hill area, because the real estate in Upper Hill area boomed real fast and provided a perfect environment compared to the CBD. So most of the corporates, most of the companies moved to the Upper Hill area to ensure they have a more conducive environment. And this also is happening in the residential space, whereby we're seeing there being very rapid growth with regards to apartments, rapid growth with regards to townhouses, rapid growth with regards to bungalows, just to mention a few. All the key real estate kind of architecture out there are developing very, very fast in the city. Even malls have not been left behind. My only concern is that also, guys, as we see this growth, which by the way is very good, because it's addressing mostly the issue of housing in the city, whereby we have a good number of people in the city who don't have decent housing. But also, there is another issue. Guys, the amenities, most of the essential ones, are also not growing rapidly at the same pace with regards to how the concrete in the city is actually growing. We're talking about matters, for example, around drainage, around garbage, and such key issues, which, by the way, we're talking about them being constant, and even it is the private sector which is stepping in, trying to see how they can work, for example, with property managers out there to see how they can address this menace. Okay, we're seeing in the city, for example, there is garbage trucks of private entities moving around collecting garbages from house to house on certain days across the week. And even we see, for example, people out there having to dig their own boreholes for water. And this is so because the city supply of water is kind of limited because of there not being expansion of infrastructure around its amenities at the same pace as the concrete jungle in the city is growing. Have you noticed this? If you have, which other amenity out there is actually not growing at the same pace with regards to how houses and apartments are growing in the city? Drop a comment down below in the comment section. Let us continue discussing there. And this is a very important issue because it affects all of us. More so those people living in urban centers in the country, more so Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, and of course, over years, this situation is going to also be duplicated in other towns in the country with the increase in urbanization and also population increase in the country. Having said that, what is the outlook of real estate in the country for the foreseeable near future? Of course, I've highlighted to you some of the pain points which are there in the real estate sector in Kenya, but also going to the future, I want to discuss with you what are the other key sticking points which are actually going to stand out as the real estate in the country continues to boom and boom and boom. Right? The very first issue I want to discuss with you is the issue relating to the prices of real estate in the country. Guys, are the prices of houses in the country, are the prices for example, commercial units in the country overpriced? What do you think? Do you think they are overpriced? If you think they are overpriced, drop a comment down below in the comment section. Do you think, for example, the prices of houses in Nairobi or even the rent in Nairobi is actually very expensive? Drop a comment down below in the comment section. Let's continue discussing there, okay? But I think, personally, the prices of real estate in the country are kind of inflated. And I'm saying this because if you take a look, for example, comparison with peer countries and even just comparison with regards to how the growth rate with regards to the cost of living is happening in the country and how the growth rate of people's salaries out there is happening, also is seeing that the price of houses is increasing at a faster rate compared to the pace at which people's salaries, people's ability to increase their money is increasing out there. And I think with these, we're going to find ourselves in a situation whereby there are going to be good houses out there, and yet the occupancy is continuing to diminish because people can't afford them. And by the way, globally, this is also a crisis. That's why, for example, countries like China are finding themselves at loggerhead because properties have grown very rapidly and they have been growing with very very clear kind of like debt financing, which has been causing a domino effect whereby one house is built, it isn't even finished, it's just a collateral for another house and so forth, and then the occupancy is not at the same rate. I'm sure for Kenya we haven't reached there yet, but if we don't take care, it's going to reach that particular point in time. And then the second thing I want to talk about is the issue around drainage. Guys, the drainage you're using in the city, in Nairobi and even other major cities in the country is that core infrastructure was laid during the colonial era. We haven't seen very drastic expansion in the infrastructure relating to supporting housing units in the city. Talk about water, talk about drainage and so forth. And with this, we're talking about a ticking time bomb. If this is not addressed, we're going to have very high rise in waterborne diseases in the city in the next few years, because the number of people is going to continue increasing. With urbanization, we're going to see more and more people come to the city. Even the population of the city is going to exceed 10 million. And yes, the supporting amenities such as drainage and water are going to not be at par to the number of people who will be living in the city in the near future. So this is going to be a ticking time bomb, okay? And then the third thing which I want to discuss with you is the issue around zoning and also setback on properties. Guys, let's face it. In the city, we have a clique of people who are subverting zoning restrictions and also any setback on properties out there. You find, for example, there's a requirement that a house is maybe built at least 6 meters from the main highway, okay? Or even, there may be a requirement, for example, this and this particular area is in the interest of the common good. Maybe there's a park to come up there and so forth. But people out there just constructing their concrete jungles without caring about any zoning restrictions and even setbacks on given properties out there, which by then is going to be a headache if not kept in check. And this is going to cause diminishing of amenities out there. Like, for example, we're going to see increase in populations, very few roads, and even the ones which are going to be out there, they're going to be not the right size for them to be able to cater for the growing population. And this is all because of people who are going to be subverting these setbacks and even restrictions of given areas in the city. And then the fourth key concern I have with the future of real estate that's going to it, guys, is matters around environmental degradation. We've all seen news out there in the recent few years around even people out there grabbing forests in the city, people out there grabbing riparian land in the city and so forth. With this, we're going to see a dire state whereby we might even see a wipe out of forests in Nairobi city, which is going to be a very crazy situation. More so, given Nairobi has very awesome greeneries out there. For example, around Gigiri area, we have very good greeneries out there. Spring Valley area, we have very good forests out there. Even at the center of the city, for example, around the National Park and so forth. But with this environmental degradation, whereby you're going to see people cutting trees and so forth, and not actually replacing these trees, over the next few years, we might just see the city having very dire consequences with regards to pollution, because the pollution in the city won't be at least managed by forests. And also, you're going to see issues relating to climate change in the city. Related to that, and the fifth thing is the issue around enforcement of law. Sadly, the grabbing of these key areas which are very keen on the environment have been happening despite there being laws and regulations in the country. I just hope that in the near future, we're going to have leadership in the country which enforces laws that ensure, with the increase in concrete jungle in the city and other areas out there, also the environment is preserved. What do you think? Do you have any fears with regards to the real estate sector in the country? If you have, what are they? Share with us in the comments down below. Let's continue discussing them. What is your concern with regards to the growth rate of real estate in the country, price of real estate in the country, and also what the future outlook of real estate in the country is? Thanks a lot for watching this video. I look forward to share with you other awesome videos next time. Bye bye, and you all take care.